Hi, Sean from Sheridan Nurseries here. Today we're going to talk about theme number 2 in our 4-part series, which is about tree pruning and what to do after heavy damage has occurred due to an ice storm or some inclement winter weather. So theme number 2 that we wanted to discuss was light pruning for aesthetic purposes. Behind me I've got a great specimen tree here that's got 3 levels of damage on it. Today we're going to tackle the first level of damage, which is just some lightly broken branches that we want to prune out at any time during the year, including the winter time, to allow for proper growth in the springtime and also to increase its beauty once again to the level that we've come used to. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 3 major tools I brought with me for this light aesthetic pruning. Tool number 1 is I brought a pair of hand secateurs, as I discussed in our first episode. It's a number 1 tool for any gardener. Tool number 2, I brought a pair of long-handled loppers, which actually has a gearing system in it, which is going to allow me to do larger cuts with just sort of minimal effort and allow me to reach to some higher places. Tool number 3 is a little bit of pruning paste, because once I do my cuts, I want to make sure that I seal it up, especially in the winter time, to avoid any winter or insect damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to commence with the pruning. So basically I've got a few branches up here that I know I'm going to need to prune. Any branch that's more than 10% broken, you probably want to prune it out because you're going to have some cracks, you're going to have the capabilities of having some disease or insects get into your tree. So as you can see behind me, I've got 3 branches that I'm going to focus on today. I've got 2 stripped branches and 1 broken branch that we have up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with cutting just the broken branches, and I'm going to leave the stripping branches for the next episode, which is a little bit of a heavier pruning required when there's extensive damage. So what you'll see here is I've got a branch that's basically 90% broken off the tree. However, it hasn't fully come off. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my long-handled loppers and I'm going to go as close to the base of the trunk of the tree as I can. And one clean, quick cutting motion, I'm going to cut the whole branch right off the tree. So now that we've got our branch cut directly from the tree, what I want to do is I want to make sure, 1, I've got a nice pair of gloves on. 2, I've got some safety glasses, because we never know exactly where the stems are going to go or where the branches are going to go. And I'm just going to lightly remove this tree, being sure not to fold or bend or break any branches as I pull this lopped branch right out of the tree. Once we've done that, we want to take a look again. We want to make sure that we note the area where we cut so that we can use one of our best pruning tools, our pruning sealer. One thing I want to talk about before we go ahead and actually seal the recent cut that we made on this tree is I want to tell you a little trick about pruning sealer. Any beeswax-based pruning sealer that I have, like I have right here, the Green Earth pruning sealer, when we're working in the winter conditions, this stuff can get pretty tough, pretty hard to manipulate inside the container. So what I like to recommend is if you're going to be utilizing this ingredient in the wintertime, just keep your container half submerged in some hot water prior to use, and it's going to keep that wax nice and flexible. So today I've got really flexible wax with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very liberal amount on my spoon, and I'm going to scrape it directly onto the open wound that was caused just by me cutting. So we've completed our clean cut on the branch that's basically completely dislodged from the tree here. I've removed it, and I've sealed my little nub at the top to ensure there's no water damage. So that really just wraps up what we need to do for light pruning for aesthetic purposes. It can be small branches, it can be heavy branches, but stay tuned for the video on theme number 3, which is what to do when we've got more severe damage. For example, you can see I've got a stripped branch down here which is actually peeling rather than broken off. So episode number 3 is going to talk about what can we do in this scenario in order to ensure that our tree is healthy, happy, and grows to look as beautiful as we're used to in the next coming spring. Once again, this is Sean from Sheridan Nurseries, recommending that if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to pop into any one of our 8 retail locations, speak with our horticultural professionals, and they can certainly help you out with any questions that may arise having to do with this topic. Once again, Sean from Sheridan Nurseries, wishing you some happy gardening.